Alrighty, just finished work on the way home, getting some Maccas. And the plan for today when we get home is to change this radio out. Got a new one for it, a bigger one. There's nothing wrong with this one, works fucking awesome. So yeah, when I get home the plan is to change it out with the new one. It's going to be a floating screen, so it's a 10-inch, so it's going to be sort of sitting out here floating, which I kind of think is cool, and you can actually slide the screen down, so it's not going to be intrusive of the buttons here, hoping. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. So yeah, we'll get a feed and then we'll go home and get into it. Alright, we got the goods. Double quarter pounder meal. That'll fix the hunger on a Saturday arvo. So this is the new one. Let's turn this down. So it's all back in the box. I've got a couple of things in this car which I'm hoping I can leave in. One being this microphone, because I've run the cable for it along here pretty neatly actually, and it's all fixed along down the pillar and up under the dash. So I don't really want to go pulling that out and swapping it, because I've clipped this up underneath the hood liner when I redid this. So, but it looks like the jack for it is the same, so hopefully it'll just plug straight in. Alright, so we've been here before, so first thing to do is get this thing off and get these two plastic trims off the sides, these ones here, which are just these Phillips screws. Get this out. So one there and one there. Alright, that's them out. Get these trims off, put them in the back. Won't put them on the dash because I've got to get the fascia, the ICC out. So we'll put them in a safe place. Now it's just the pocket for the ciggy socket. So this screw here and this screw, get them out. And we'll pop him out. Easy. Alright, we've got that pocket out. Just got to disconnect the USB and take the screw out so I can get to the, well, this screw here, so I can get to the back of the bass knob. So we'll do that. Got that separated and disconnected, so I'll put that aside and we'll get the ICC out. And a little trick I did was I left the little yellow tabs, little clips off this triangle. So getting the triangle out is a piece of cake. Sits in there under the dash mat beautifully, and you don't need the clips anyway, so it's not broken. So I'll put that where it won't break, in a safe place. Now we've just got one screw under that there, and then it's the 4 8mm to get out the main body. Got that top screw out, so now it's just the 4 bolts. And of course one fell in there, but it's right there, so I should be able to get it. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, with those 4 bolts out, now it's just the 4 plugs underneath for the, I think it's the BCM, whatever it is. So we'll get those out. There's 1, 2, big green ones on the side, and the last one's usually a bit of a bastard. Okay, just going to put a cloth down so we don't scratch him, and we'll pop it out and sit it down, get to the back of it. Alright, so this is the concoction of wires. We've got our aerial plug which has to come out, that's got to stay, and I have to disconnect all these reverse cameras and stuff, so I'll get all that disconnected and we'll pull it out. Cool, got it all disconnected. Going to take it inside now, put the new cradle in the ICC and sort out some of this wiring. So let's get it inside. So I'm just going to lay it face down and we'll take the unit out of the ICC. So all it is one screw there, one there, one there and one there. We should be able to leave the bracket in for the BCM. Now when I installed this, I ran the USB cables down from here, down the side, coiled them up in between the gap here, slid them underneath the radio, and then I'd cable tied them into underneath here. And these are the bits that stick out on the ICC. So these are what I want to tap into. So I should be able to leave this here and just disconnect them here. All right, we've got the unit separated. So this is the old one. All the wiring on the back still. And we've still got the loom on this one ready to go. So I'm going to clean all this up and then we'll look at getting the new chassis put into this frame. Now what I'm doing before I put it all in is I'm just going through this new loom and figuring out which plugs I need. And I'm just going to tidy it all up. So out of this little harness or plug, all I need is these 3 cables here. That's for the amplifier out and the microphone. And this little one here is for the amp, to turn the amp on. So that's all I need. So I'm just going to take this up and tidy it up a bit. Alrighty, just put some tape onto that, sorted out what I need and what I don't need. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this excess yet, but I'll figure it out. Might just put a cable tie on it, but I want it all sort of in there neatly. So we'll figure it out as we go. I'm also going to wrap this one in some tape, so I'll do that. But before I wrap it, so this is your main loom. I see a lot of people online having issues getting their steering wheel controls work with these ICCs and stuff like that. So it's not really hard if you just sort of make sure you don't forget a few steps. So you've got to have this loom here. This is the remote, it's just a universal steering wheel control thing that you get. I think you get these from Supercheap, but I think they come with the ICC. If not, it's like a $13 plug. And that's got to plug into that part of the ICC. And depending on what stereo you've got, I'm pretty sure you've got to cut some of these wires depending on what radio you've got. So I'm running an aftermarket one, so none of that matters. All I need out of this loom is the 2 wires with the key, with these key functions here. So you get key 1 and 2. So with this universal aftermarket stereo, this uses these 2 wires to control the steering wheel, as well as a ground. So there's 3 in total, 2 wires there and 1 ground. So that's just got to be earthed. But yeah, the steering wheel controls won't work for this stereo and a lot of other ones if you don't have these 3 cables connected. So it's the 2 key ones, key 1, key 2, and it has to be earthed. Some stereos we use on this same loom, there's this plug. We'll use this one. That'll plug straight into the back of some radios. Don't know which ones. Yeah, it just depends. But on this main harness, as you see here, where is it? I'm trying to look through the camera. So there they are there. Steering wheel control 1 and steering wheel control 2. So they just connect from the stereo in. This plugs into the stereo. They connect to key 1 and 2 on here. Real easy. Now what I'm going to do this time around is I've just trimmed off these steering wheel control wires and I'm going to put a Deutsch style connector on them so they're permanently connected properly, because they just had these shitty crimp ones that come on the loom, which is shit, these red things here. Yeah, so I'll get rid of those. These are poo. There we go, got a nice crimp on those 2. So now we'll just slot them into one of these ends, whichever one it is. I think it's this one. And then we'll put the other ends on this end of the loom. Alrighty, got the Deutsch connector all sorted. So that's ready to plug in for the steering wheel controls. And just tidied up the harnesses a little bit. Now I'm just going to take the actual face off the stereo and fit it into the ICC. So all we're going to do is get these two little Phillips head screws out, and then we can disconnect this plug, which gets the screen away from the chassis, and then we'll get this chassis into here. Alright, that came out easy as. Now I'm seeing a little slot here for GPS. I'm assuming that's where our micro SD will go. Now I put music on my micro SD, so I'm hoping that that's the slot for it, because I can't see anything else. It says GPS, but I'm assuming that it will be able to read anything that's on that card. So I'm going to put my SIM card, micro SD out of this one into there first. Alrighty, that plugged straight in. That's in there. So now we'll get this frame into here. Alrighty, got it all mounted in. It was a pain in the ass lining it up, but we've got the two screws in, two in each side, one at the top, one at the bottom. Now this can slide. When it first went in, this part here, this flat part was sticking out here quite a bit. So I've realigned the screws and got it to sit sort of flush with the frame, as you can see. So I don't want the screen to be sticking out too far, so I've pushed it back that little bit more. So I'm just going to do a dummy fit now on the screen and see how it looks. Alrighty, that's clipped on. So even still it sticks out a fair way, as you can see. It's a good inch or so. But the screen is tiltable, so you can tilt it up and down and left to right. So, and it's not covering the buttons, which is good. And it can still slide down a little bit more. I just didn't do it because of the pool table. So there's a little bit more movement just there. But yeah, definitely gonna have to get used to that, but we'll chuck it in and yeah, see how we go. Okay, so now we're happy with the fitment. We just got to start getting these wires connected. So I'm just going to run the two USB ports. I'm not going to run a third one because I won't use it. Now these ports here, or these plugs, are the plugs for the two ports on the front of the ICC. So they'll just go into there. Going to have quite a bit of excess cable, but I'll try and tuck it up in here somewhere. I've got the main loom here for the radio, which will go in there, and then the ISO will plug into that one. And we've got the steering wheel buttons, which is there, that'll plug in now. So I do have to do a couple of extra wires. I'm gonna have to do one for the reverse camera, which is reverse trigger for this one, which goes to the, I think it was a purple one on this loom. I'll find that. Yeah, there it is. So I just need to put a connector on that. And on this other loom, this loom, so this loom's for the reverse camera input, and it's got an earth on it, so this black wire here needs to be earthed. Not sure why, but we'll do it. So we'll just connect it to the ground over here for the park brake and for the steering wheel controls. So I'll cut that off and put a new terminal on and just add that wire into there. Pretty easy. Alright, got the USBs in there. Just got to connect them up to there now and then get rid of this bit of excess somehow. But I'm just about to connect up the reverse wire. So this is the patch loom that comes with the ICC. It plugs in just there, as you can see, just under there. They give you quite a bit of cable, and it's just literally a patch loom. So there's a female end and a male end. So this end here goes into the reverse camera feed for your stereo, so which will be this one. So this is the reverse camera in for the back of the radio. And then this one takes the plug that's in the car already that would go into the back of the stereo normally. So there's one in the car that comes from the reverse camera. That one goes into here. So it's just a patch harness. So reverse camera into here, the female end, then the male end goes into the reverse camera feed in the back of your stereo. Now you just got to make sure it's the reverse camera feed, not the video feed, because some stereos will have a video feed where you can put an external source into them, and then you can just like click video and it'll play whatever's coming through this plug. So you've just got to make sure it's in the reverse camera feed, not the video feed. Alright, I think we've gotten there. Well, we're getting there. I've been out in the car cleaning up behind the where this goes in as well, the RCAs and stuff. So it's getting ready to put in. This is all tidied up now. I've just got this main plug to plug in, but I do have to figure out the couple of wires for the reverse camera. One's a feed, so it's a different setup to the old one. And then that's about it, really. So I'll probably take it out to the car and have a look out there. Right, we're out at the car, but our biggest challenge is we're running out of light very quickly. So I sort of want it in tonight because I want the car for work in the morning, but what I might do is plug it in as is. All I've got to do is figure out the reverse camera. It's only like 2 or 3 wires, but I want to do it all tidy. I don't want to rush it. So I might set it all in, plug everything in so I can use it, just the amps and stuff. And give it a test out in the morning. The reverse camera won't work, but big deal, that's fine. And I'll just pull it out again tomorrow. I just won't put the screws in the trims and stuff, so I can just pop it out. I'll leave the bolts out for the ICC. So it should be an easy pull it back out and sort out those few wires tomorrow. So I'm gonna put the camera down and put a cloth down and get it back in there just for tonight, because I need to be able to move the car. I can't move it obviously with the stereo out because of the BEM or BCM that's on the bottom. So I don't even have interior lights. And like I said, it's getting dark fast, so yeah. We'll get it back in for now and call it a night. Alright, got him all in there. The computer's plugged back in. So now it's just a matter of plopping the screen on and giving it a test, but we are getting attacked by mozzies out here. Or midgies. So I think I will just pop it on because I want to see the display light up. Might shut the door and yeah, I'll go get the screen from inside. Alrighty, we got it in the car. Sort of rushing. I hate doing this shit, but I just wanted to get it in for the night. Don't want to leave the car apart overnight. So let's turn it on and see what we get. This will be its first start. There it is. I'll turn the light off. Just turn the light on. There's its first boot. Wow, that screen is really sharp compared to the one that was just on it, in it. Now the screen is cool because you can slide it quite a way down. I just had a bit of a play with it. You can slide it down and cover up these ugly fucking USB ports if you want to, but it's pretty good there. I don't know how I'm going to go with the floating screen. It might take a little while to get used to, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's in the way of the gear shifter. No, not at all. That's cool. I'm going to have a fiddle with it, and that'll be it for tonight. And we'll come back tomorrow and get it all sorted. I'm just going to have a play with it. But yeah, I'm going to go inside now and yeah, we'll get it finished tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. Just finished work. 9-hour shift. Go home and get this stereo in. That's the first look of the screen during the day. It was fucking awesome this morning coming to work. I've got no sound. I think I've wired up the remote wire wrong to the amplifier, and I've still got to hook up the reverse camera. So that's the job for this afternoon. So let's get home and get it finished. Well, we got home and the footy was on. West Coast won. We beat Richmond. So I watched the footy and had some visitors rock up as well. So the car's been parked here since I got home and haven't had a chance to get into the stereo. So I've got a little bit of time before it gets dark again, hoping I can get it done, because I wouldn't mind having some tunes tomorrow. So I sat it in last night and didn't screw anything in. So I'm going to just get it out again completely and have a look at the wiring for the reverse camera. All right, we got it out. So I had no sound this morning, and I just noticed why. So that's the remote wire that goes down to the amp. And me being in a rush last night, doing it in the dark, and that's why I hate doing it, have put the amp wire out of the back of the ICC plug into the back of the input for the stereo. So there's no feed going out to the actual amplifier. So that's why there was no sound. So I'll get that sorted and then we'll work on the reverse camera. It's getting pretty dark pretty quick. It's bright out there, but dark under here. And again, I've pulled the stereo out so I can't move the car. But we've got the amp sorted, so that's connected now. I've tidied that up. It's literally just the reverse camera now, which I need to do. I think I'll just have a little bit of a play with it. I sort of wanted to get this really clean before I put it all back in. But I might just get the reverse camera going now, tonight. Sit it back in there like I did today, not bolted in. And then tomorrow after work, there's no footy on and no one's coming over, I'll pull it out again and clean all this up so it's all nice and tidy behind there. That way I know I'll be happy with it, because I can't leave it like that. Now a good thing with this stereo is the videos can be played by turning on an option in the settings. So with a lot of car stereos that play videos, you have to have there's a wire for the park brake. So it's got a sense that the car's in park, which you can override by just earthing that wire, and then the videos will play when the car's driving. It's illegal, but yeah, whatever, that's your own choice. On this car, you can just turn it on in the settings, so I don't need to connect that park brake cable, which is a good thing. All right, we just got the little light out here for a bit of help before it gets too dark. So I've seen people have some trouble online getting the reverse cameras to work. So when you're putting a reverse camera in aftermarket reverse camera in, they usually come with this generic style sort of a cable. So they'll have the video plug, which is this one, that's for your actual picture, and this one's for your power. Oops. This one here is for your power. So this cable here is basically the same at the other end, at the camera end, which is at the back of the car. So a lot of people, what you'll do is you'll get a source for the reverse camera from, say, the tail lights. So what you can do, or your reverse light, sorry, is at the back of the car, find a light, a reverse light, tap into that with a wire and connect it to this wire. What that'll do is that'll feed this wire power when the car is in reverse. So then that's obviously at the back of the car. You've got this exact same plug. So you've connected this to the reverse feed at the back of the car. Then at the front of the car, now it's just a short piece of wire, this red one, but it actually runs inside this sheathing. I keep fucking dropping it. Inside this sheathing. So this red wire here is the one that's connected at the back. It's the same cable. So then if you did that, you'd then have power to this cable, this red one, when you put the car in reverse, which on the back of any aftermarket stereo, there's a reverse feed trigger, or reverse camera trigger. Now you need to connect that, because what that does is it tells the stereo that the car's in reverse, which gives power to the camera, and it sends a signal to the back of the radio to tell it that the car's in reverse. So you obviously, when you put it in reverse, the screen comes on. Or you can run it to a switch if you wanted to do it that way, that's another thing, but we're doing it this way. But in this car, with this harness, when you get this ISO harness with these aftermarket units, ICCs, it comes with a reverse wire here in the harness. So there it is there, the purple wire. This is the plug that goes into the ICC. It comes in the box with the ICC. So you've already got a reverse feed here. So there's no need to connect to any reverse light in the back of the car. This is the feed for it. When you put the car in reverse, this purple wire gets power. So this purple wire gets the feed. So this purple wire is the wire in this setup, which needs to be connected to the reverse camera trigger wire on the back of the stereo. So this wire will tell the stereo that the car's in reverse. But I also still need to put in the picture, the yellow one. And if you remember what we talked about before, you got the patch harness that comes with this. It's going to go into this one, which goes to the reverse camera there. So that'll go into there. And then this red one will go to the purple one on this loan. So the purple wire needs to be connected to the red wire that goes back to power the camera in this particular setup, because remember we haven't tapped into any reverse feed at the back, and also the power cable to turn the reverse camera on at the stereo. Bit messy in there, but we'll clean it all up tomorrow when we can see. But it's not too bad considering. Alrighty, I've set it all in there, got the 4 plugs underneath in. That one down there is just for my GPS, which I don't use, so that doesn't need to be plugged in. So let's turn the key on and see what happens. Hopefully there's sound this time. I hate doing this shit at night. I'm calling it a night. Either way, I'll turn this light off. I'll let it load up and we'll see what happens. Alright, we've got the sound going, which was obvious, but the test is the reverse camera, so let's see what happens. It's working. Awesome. So that's it for now. Tomorrow we'll come back out and we'll get behind there, tidy all that up, and she'll be good to go. Alrighty, next day. Just finished work, got some fuel. Let's get home and get this all finished up. All right, day 3 of doing this stereo. This is going to be a long ass video, but oh well. Alrighty, got it all out. So it's just a matter of tidying it all up now. Gonna clean up some of these wires, put them up, cable tie them up and get them up out the way. Alrighty, got it all tidied up. Spent a good part of 40-45 minutes probably doing all that. Just taped up all the looms with some fleece tape. This stuff's awesome. This is Tessa tape, but you can get a car builders. Car builders do a version of this for like $5 a roll. This stuff's a bit more expensive. Just get the car builder stuff. But yeah, it's awesome for harnesses and shit like that. Keep it all tidy. So everything's all ready to go in now. It's all sort of one unit. I've got the GPS and that mounted down the bottom. So I'm hoping this little pile of RCAs will just sit on the top of the bracket here. And everything else is all tucked away. So all we're going to do is plug in this one plug. And we should be in business. Awesome, slotted it all in perfectly. Went in real nice and easy with all them wires tucked up. So now I'm just going to put the screen on, test it all, make sure it's all working before we go screwing the bolts in and get all the trims back on. But it should be all done. Alright, we've screwed the little plate that covers the plug for the screen back on. So hopefully that's not going to have to come off again. Plugged in all the plugs underneath here for the BEM, BCM, whatever you want to call it. So let's give it a test, see if it's all working. There we go. And I thought I would be well, steering wheel controls are working. Let's try the reverse camera. Park brakes on. Oh, keys. But you on one more click. There we go. Reverse camera's working. Cleaning up all them cables made that sit in fucking beautifully. So that was worth the hassle. And I know it's all tidy back there now. Peace of mind. The reverse camera's working. I just had to turn the accessories on the key. The key was only on one turn, so that's why that wasn't working. So that's all good now. So it's all as it should be. So I can get all the bolts in and the screw at the top and get it all done. One thing I didn't mention before, I don't think, was when I first put this stereo in, well, the small stereo in the ICC, you've got to set up the ICC when you first put it in the car. So when I put that first stereo in, I never had a reverse camera feed. I did all the wiring right and I put it in reverse and I still didn't get a feed. So all it was a setting on the ICC settings. So you go in, all I did was go into the menu. So it was set to, and then just get the actual menu up. And once the menu comes up, you've got to hold this down. You press the fan up and down buttons at the same time, and it goes into like a second menu. And this is where you set your dual zone or single zone climate control or whatever. But it has this question here, is the camera connected? And this was set to no from factory. I put that onto yes, and it worked. So I think also on my stereo, that smaller one, in the settings for the reverse camera, there was an option for it to put out a PAL signal or take a PAL signal or NTSC. It was set to PAL. I switched that over to NTSC, and that helped as well, I think, from memory, because I think I turned this on and I had like a funny line through the screen, and all it was the settings on the stereo, so that had to be set to NTSC. So a couple of things there to keep in mind if you're putting reverse camera in. But yeah, this needs to be selected yes for sure, because when I put this one in, this was brand new out of the box, it was set to no. So yeah, and you've also got to select your climate control type anyway. So yeah, hopefully that might have helped a couple of people, maybe not. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to put all this back together and call it a day, and I'll clean this bloody filthy pigsty of a car out, I think. Give it a vacuum. Happy days. Ew.